The reason that I know that regardless of what your educational background has been, that you could be made excited about learning, that you can learn, and that you can develop skills, is because of the early work that we did at the Soul Academy. And only I, amongst the 6 leaders of this new school that was hired and funded by model cities. But we had enough political clout to get the money to start the school by model city and then get recognized by the Seattle Public School System. However, the funding only lasted 1 year because of all the controversy that was generated around it. We got cats that couldn't get into any, young men and young women who couldn't go to any other public school in the greater Seattle area. Not only to come to school every day, but to be excited about it, to read while they were there, to write while they were there, to get involved in discussion. But we had a very revolutionary way and manner in which we looked at education. First of all, since they were already in the street hustling and stuff, we used books like we used the autobiography of Malcolm X, but we used books like Iceberg Slim, Man, Child, and the Promised Land, which is a book about hustling in Harlem. Iceberg Slim wrote books about pimping, you know. So this is what we use as our text. And then we would talk about the social content of what these cats are talking about and deal with gradual value reorientation. Then we would introduce them to just maybe a sheet of writing by Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and H. Rap Brown. We use H. Rap Brown books, Die Nigga Die, where he talks about he came out of his mother's womb hollering Black Power. That's how bad he was. And so no regular public schools teacher would use this kind of literature, but we had told the Model City program, we can get these kids in school, we can get them off the streets, we can get them believing in basic reading and writing and computation skills. We use gambling and dice. I don't know if either one of you have ever played dice. We started with those kinds of games and teaching timetables to the to the kids. We had them measuring their afros in order to look at diameter and in terms of like that. And talking about world history, we started with Africa. The first thing we told them, the original man looked like y'all. Has anybody ever told you that? What? Yeah. Even Adam and Eve came from these African cats. And then we introduced, the anthropologist Leakey, and then have them read a little bit of him where he said the first man, and then they'd run home and tell their mom, man, we the first people from Africa, Ma. I ain't never heard no shit like this. They got excited about learning. You dig? Yeah, and and they would come to school. Now, some of them, we still had some problems because some of them would still be out robbing and carrying on even the first couple of months they were in our school. But most part, we turned a lot of them down. 3 or 4 of them ended up going to college, all after 1 year at the Soul Academy, but we didn't get refunded.
You're saying it got controversial?
Yeah. People started talking about the books we were using. Well, okay. We did some days when they were supposed to be in class have all of them out on a demonstration supporting Tyree Scott and stuff like that. Because we felt that they should get integrated into what was happening in the community. And that stuff like that got reported to model cities and City of Seattle and school board representatives. Some teachers talked about the books that they were reading. But we also had their parents and other black community groups saying, man, they're doing a great job. But it just wasn't sufficient to keep the funding going.